There are no words that can fully capture the depth of this loss. No words that can ease the pain the families of the families who are grieving. No words that can explain the weight of 8 young lives taken far too soon. To the families affected, our hearts are with you, our prayers are with you, and our commitment to you is unwavering. Your children mattered, their lives mattered, and their memory will not be forgotten.
Today, we're going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana, speaking about a crime that's hard to wrap your mind around, where they said a man committed the ultimate against 8 innocent souls on April 19, 2026. He was recently said to have been hospitalized for mental health issues, according to loved ones. 31-year-old Shamar Elkins visited the local Veterans Affairs Hospital for mental health evaluation and stayed there for a week and a half and was released, according to family relatives. Shamar was married to 34-year-old Shaniqua Pugh Elkins, mother to 4 of his children that he sadly unalived. Their names are Layla Pugh, 7 years old, born June 7, 2018; Kayla Pugh, 6 years old, born June 12, 2019; Shayla Elkins, 5 years old, born September 3, 2020; and Jayla Elkins, 3 years old, born March 18, 2023. According to official reports, Shaniqua was recently seeking a divorce, and the couple were due to appear in court on Monday. Now, it is also being alleged that the reason she was seeking a divorce is because he had gotten someone else pregnant, and if this is true, it wouldn't be his first time down that road. See, Shamar also had 3 other children with 31-year-old Christina Snow, who he also shot that Sunday morning. She is currently in the hospital. Her kids with Shamar are Soraya Renee Snow, 11 years old, born November 29, 2014; Kedarian Snow, 6 years old, born January 4, 2020; and Braylon D. Snow, 5 years old, born March 19, 2021. All 3 of those children were unalive too. If you look at all the kids' age, you will see that Shamar had 11-year-old Soraya Renee Snow first with Christina in 2014. And some years later in 2018, he had his first daughter, 7-year-old Layla Pugh, with Shaniqua Pugh at that time. The very next year in 2019, Shaniqua had 6-year-old Kayla Pugh. 7 months after the birth of Kayla, Shamar had his second child with Christina, 6-year-old Kadarian Snow, in 2020. That same year, 8 months later, Shaniqua had her third child with Shamar, 5-year-old Shayla Elkins. Then, 6 months after Shayla's birth, his other baby mama, Christina, had her third child with Shamar, 5-year-old Braylon D. Snow, in 2021. After that, there was a small pause in childbirth until Shaniqua had their fourth child together, 3-year-old Jayla Elkins, in March 2023. Of Shaniqua's 4 kids with Shamar, their first 2 have her maiden last name, and their last 2 have his last name. So, as you can see, for a while there, it was a back and forth between the women having children by Shamar. In the beginning, years back, there was tension between the 2 women, but over time, things had evened out and they were able to co parent peacefully. Shaniqua and Shamar tied the knot on her birthday, April 9, 2024, so the pair have only been married about 2 years. The other child whose life was taken in this tragic situation was Shamar's nephew and Shaniqua's sister Keosha Pugh's son, 10-year-old Morcaden Z. Pugh. It is believed he was the one sadly found on the roof of the home unalive trying to escape the terror. His mother, 33-year-old Keosha, and his 12-year-old sister, Markiana Pugh, both were able to get away but sustained injuries after jumping off the roof. Keosha and her kids' father, Troy Brown, lived in the same home with Shamar, Shaniqua, and the kids. And according to Troy, the night before the shooting, when he left for work on his night shift, Shamar was joking with him as he moved his car to let Troy out. Troy said Shamar was calm and appeared to have no care in the world. Then, just 2 days before the shooting on April 17th, Shamar took his oldest daughter, Soraya, out on a one-on-one date, and Christina even shared the post saying, "This what's wrong with her. He spoils her. He don't say no at all. I'm glad she has a good bond with her father. As long as she's happy, I'm happy." However, sadly, just 2 days after this post, things changed for the absolute worst for three mothers, family, friends, and the community, and far beyond.
About 5:55 a.m. on Sunday morning, Shreveport police received the first call regarding a disturbance at a resident in the 300 block of West 79th Street. The caller stated that they were on top of a house. The suspect was inside and that a male had been shot. 3 minutes later, at 5:58, dispatch received an additional call indicating the suspect was a relative of the caller. A minute later, 5:59 a.m., dispatch was advised that approximately 9 individuals resided at the location. The caller further stated that the suspect, identified as Shamar Elkins, had shot everyone inside the home. At 6 o'clock a.m., 1 minute later, the caller advised that she and her children had fled from the roof and were now in the backyard. 6:01 a.m., officers arrived on the scene. 6:03, officers made contact with the caller at the residence. At 6:05 approximately, officers requested the Shreveport Fire Department to stage at a nearby location close to Linwood. 6:07 a.m., a second call was received regarding a shooting in the 500 block of Harrison Street. The caller stated that her boyfriend had shot her, taken her 3 children, and fled the scene. 6:08 a.m., the victim identified the suspect as Shamar Elkins. At 6:10, dispatch linked the Harrison Street shooting with the shooting on West 79th Street and that they all were related. At 6:15, officers received information that the suspect had carjacked a red Kia Sportage at West 79th, closest to Linwood. At 6:17 a.m., our traffic units out on random patrol encountered or observed that particular vehicle traveling southbound on Interstate 49. The officers advised at 6:18 that they were crossing the Red River Bridge into Bossier City. At 6:20, officers received information that the children taken from the Harrison Street residence may be inside of the fleeing vehicle. 6:23 a.m., officers advised that they were exiting near Swan Lake area. 6:25 a.m. approximately, officers located the injured victims from the Harrison Street shooting. 6:29 a.m., officers made contact with the suspect through an exchange of gunfire. At 6:30 a.m., officers confirmed contact with the suspect in the 400 block of Brompton Lane. 6:40 a.m., officers advised that the suspect vehicle was empty and no children were located inside. 6:43 a.m., officers cleared the resident of West 79th Street where multiple deceased victims were located. 7:03 a.m., Shamar Elkins was pronounced deceased at the scene on Brompton Lane. 7:14 a.m., the Shreveport Police Department contacted the Louisiana State Police Investigative Division, and they began their deployment to the Bossier City address to begin to investigate the officer-involved shooting.
This is truly a tragedy of epic proportions, and is something so mind blowing that a father, a husband, could do something so horrible and so tragic. My heart goes out to multiple families that have been destroyed And to all the people who are grieving this tragedy, 8 young people are gone for no reason. This is not okay. Please keep their mothers in your prayers and everyone else who loves and cares for them. My heart and soul truly cries out, and the only thing that we can do now is pray, because prayer is powerful and the Lord is the only one that can give peace in such a time. Please don't forget to share and make your people aware. And remember, as always, stay woke. Things change quickly.